好，等一下啊，我这是录像。
这是1年之后重新回到了明尼阿波利斯来，非常高兴见到了布，因为上次见他是去年的圣诞节。
我能不能请问一下先从您那个成长家庭背景可以先说说吗？
当然了，我从山东农村长大，好吧，在山东胶东的一个山村，大概有400户人口。我父亲呢在城里工作，算是公务员吧。所以我母亲带着我们姊妹3个人在农村生活。那个时候生活就是为了温饱，好吧，为了吃饭，这个穿衣而奋斗，所以从小生长环境是比较艰苦的。后来从小学、初中一直到县里面上高中，高中之后又去济南上了这个山东医科大学，那个时候叫山东医学院，从本科、硕士。然后呢，88年被出国潮冲到了加拿大。
哦，先到加拿大。
对。
OK。
在加拿大完成这个学业之后生了2个孩子。然后呢，96年来到了威斯康星，至今威斯康星这个前后到27年了吧。
哦，对。
从博士后、科学家、助理教授到农民，1/4世纪已经过了。对。
本身就很不容易，也是很多人就是很难走的一条路，很多人也会觉得很困难。但是您从这个医学博士后，完全是一个科学家，然后转身变成一个，就像您说的，你用农民这2个字来形容，就是去种人参，在有一个农场。所以这个转变是怎么发生的？
我呢，小时候在农村生活，刚才说过对吧？对农村的一草一木、水土都有一种这个额外的这个亲切感。在海外生活了30年之后想回归自然，就从科学家、教授摇身变成了农民。当然，这过程比那要复杂一点。一方面是这个，我呢到了中年，有中年危机从小一直上学这个一直在爬金字塔，从小学爬到这个大学，到读博士，好吧，在国内读硕士，海外读博士、博士后、教授。到了45岁，突然有点迷茫。2个原因，一是健康的原因，这个当时这个在密尔沃基那边冬天像明尼苏达一样，冬天比较长。每年的这个冬天很难过日子很难过，因为这个后来才知道是属于季节性抑郁，所以情绪很不高，那能做些事情就不那么这个什么兴奋，对吧？这是就想换个活法。正好太太这个当时要过来到这个马拉松县做主治医师，所以呢因运而至，好吧，我呢就这个阴差阳错当了农民。说是13年之后可以给你分享我的这个历程。
在那个医院工作。
太太在这个马拉松县一个医疗系统叫 Marshfield Clinic， 是威斯康星中部这一个主要的一个医疗系统，在那做主治医师。所以我们家安家是09年安家到了这个马拉松县那个城市叫瓦萨。大家买花去深圳可能都熟悉，因为瓦萨是马拉松县的县驻地。仔细想想，可能还是我母亲对我影响很大，好吧？因为从小是随着母亲在农村生活父亲在这个外地工作，1年呢可能不回来1次2次，好吧？所以性格有点像我妈妈，比较急躁火爆，好吧？但是我妈妈特别善良的一个人，也能吃苦，因为农村一个妇女带3个孩子在农村生活，还是在中国农村，在这个60年代70年代还是很辛苦的，好吧？需要这个下地需要这个种粮食什么的。听有句话叫人敬你1尺，你敬人家1丈，就是这个知恩图报的意思。
那江博士他自己形容他随母亲比较暴躁，但是我们听他的声音跟他说到现在，就是很温和、很温柔的一个人。
在这个 摄影灯下面不敢发脾气。
还有一些什么样的联系？
我自称自己是神农中最好的医生，医生中最好的神农，在这个医学知识方面呢，科研最新进展呢，有关花旗参呢，在这个临床应用和基础研究方面，我是比较关心。一是过去10几年吧，通过这个客户服务了解了很多反馈，从花旗参的用量这个用途，什么时候可以吃，什么时候不可以吃，对吧，吃多少，都是有自己的一些看法。那么当然，我这个做这一行的开始，我研究很多文献，对吧？也提出自己的学说，就是这个花旗参如何理解花旗参，或者说美国西洋参的这个药用，最近曾经写过很多博客，好吧，叫从传说到科学，希望这让美国大众了解花旗参的这个好处。这个刚才跟你朋友说了，好吧，跟你先生说了，花旗参让美国重新获得健康、快乐与和谐。
是的。那您觉得这个花旗参和中国传统的人参，它们的区别大吗？
花旗参或者说是美国西洋参吧，与中国的人参或者韩国的红参属于这个同属，好吧？都是5家科的，俺们同属不同种，这个是表兄弟的关系啊。花旗参呢，药性比较温和，相对这个红参或者东北参人参药性比较温和，适合养生。当然了，剂量足够大，可以起死回生。我们说传统说是人参呢适合病后大补，对吧？病后大补这个西洋参呢，它有自己的特性，药性比较温和，比方它不增加血压，对吧？对肺部心脏这个脑血管什么的作用可能更好一点，因为它不增加血压，好吧？适合高血压人应用。当然，这个过去1年我们对花旗参对肺炎的作用，对吧？我们是有更多的了解。怎么说呢？我们过去1年内用花旗参治疗了3例，就是这个治愈了3例，被认为是这个是中端末端，就是说这个医生放弃的情况，好吧？让他们恢复健康。步步只是其中一例。对。
步步这简直是真的是奇迹。
这个故事当然也影响很多人。
对
这个故事传得比较远。那个5月份我回中国去吧，到了广东，朋友们请吃饭，其中一个朋友说，见面就说，江博士，我谢谢你的花旗参救了我父亲的命。这话说很大呀，我是医生一定问到底怎么回事？他说这个2月份中国开放之后，全家都得了COVID，都得了新冠肺炎，对吧？一开始情况都不错，但是他父亲的80多岁嘛，一开始前几天不错，后来情况急转直下，血氧掉到了60%，正常的97%左右往上，好吧？医生告诉大概还有2小时寿命。他想起了步步的故事，好吧？就用花旗参，参片放到纯净水，晃一晃，对吧？给老父亲喂了3天，血氧回到了90%。后来找到了抗病毒血清，所以他父亲活下来了。据说他们那层楼104个病人，4个活下来的1例。所以说，我们通过这些实践证明，这个花旗参可以起死回生，用的得当，需要用的得当，量足够大。
OK， 那我们有没有做一些量化的一些研究，就是多少量，或者说在什么程度多少量这种？
我们过去10几年嘛，大部分都是根据顾客反馈，对吧？我们说一般说1-2克养生，好吧？当然这与年龄有关系像我们这个平均体重120磅跟那个200磅的体重，那用量是不一样的。你30岁跟60岁、70岁用量是不一样的，好吧？就是我一般说1到2克可以养生，3到6克呢，按照中药要点是这个可以治病，比方说高血糖、高血压什么的，好吧？那么到了急症、重症，我们说30克，都可能是10倍的常规量。提到这个地方，我也提醒大家在美国，花旗参属于食品补品，好吧？ 我们刚才说明没有通过 FDA 批准。我们说我们的产品不诊断、治疗、预防任何疾病。当然，在中国、亚洲、日本、韩国，西洋是按照药材管理，啊，包治百病。所以大家根据自己理解利用使用，好吧？
那您未来的发展方向是怎样的？
我希望未来10年内退休，好吧？70岁退休，所以未来10年我的任务就是希望这个利用自己的这个医学背景，以及过去10几年积累的观察经验，对吧？再加上现代科学进展，希望让广大民众，尤其是美国西方社会了解这个肾的作用。我们说肾可以让大家重新获得健康、快乐。
我也希望这样，就是我们希望。就让这个大家都健康，然后也希望张博士说的，让花旗参让美国人民都健康、和谐。
Our mission for the next 10 years is try to make America healthy, happy, and harmonious with American dream.
Thank you. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Good. I'm good. We sit here all about Maggie. So may I ask you some questions?
Sure.
Okay. First of all, how many years you have been together with Maggie?
I think 10 or 11 years now. And we connected up for coffee and chatted for about 2 or 3 hours. And all of a sudden she stood up and she started putting her jacket on. And I'm thinking, well, I guess it's all over. And, you know, she just said, well, let's go to lunch. So we went to lunch and spent another couple hours at lunch, and after that, she never let me go home. Truly.
Okay. As I know, has many different voices about Maggie. Yeah. So how you work with that when you?
Well, sometimes it's difficult, for sure. You know, first we have cultural differences of how we both grew up, and certainly, you know, different countries that we grew up in. But she also had a really tough childhood, and I think that's, you know, led to her having to be very strong in some ways, just for self-preservation, right? You know, you have to survive, and you do the things you need to survive, especially if you don't have strong family at home to help you with those things. So a lot of that still, you know, that was just part of her growing up, and that will just be a part of who she always has or is, you know, throughout her life. But I can also see how she's grown and changed and grown softer, and she's just had a lot of good life experiences. We've had hard experiences too, for sure. And all that, I think, has shaped us who we are today, in some ways probably for the better, as we've grown through some of these tough things. But we've also had good times, and hopefully I've been able to play a role and an impact on who she is and who she's become. She certainly has for me, because I've had to learn and grow as well.
10 years you two been together. So what do you think the best challenge between you two?
I think in the beginning it was really just understanding, you know, in communication. Because when she came here 17 years ago, she really had no English skills. So this was something that she had learned along the way, and was still very much in, you know, continuing to learn. I mean, to this day, right? So she would use words that she had heard or whatever, but that did not necessarily mean the same thing to me. So I think just sometimes early in the beginning, learning to be able to talk with each other and not taking it the wrong way, which sometimes, you know, could easily be done and still is done. So that was probably the most difficult thing in the beginning, was just learning how to communicate with each other, um, and being able to carry forward with that. I think it's gotten easier in the past, but part of it is we've been with each other for 10 years, so sometimes you don't even have to say anything, right? You just know what the other person is maybe feeling or thinking, because you've lived so many of these life experiences before. So as they go kind of into repeat sometimes, you kind of anticipate what the other person might say or how they might react to certain things. And so then, you know, at least for me, I can adapt how I maybe want to say something, knowing from past experience how I shouldn't have said something. But sometimes maybe I will say that probably the one thing that she still works on is she doesn't always have a filter of what, you know, if she's thinking it, and not just in my relationship, but with her, but just I think in everyday, sometimes her relationships. You know, she doesn't hesitate to voice her opinion or censor maybe what's coming out. So, and I don't know, that may never change. But I think she's tempered it a lot and has grown a lot in that way. Yes.
Yeah, this sounds it's the two different culture getting together is not things to.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing,
Yeah,
and
Yeah. So as I know that during these 10 years, many times Maggie, sometimes he will, during the tough time, she will push you away like that.
yes,
So
very much, and much less today. But there are times where she can still tend to push away, and again, I don't think it's just me, but it's very much if she's maybe not seeing eye to eye with somebody else. And so I really, you know, shortly after maybe a year and a half or two after we started dating, her daughter got cancer. And that was a time where she really tried to push me away, saying, you don't have to be here. This is not your problem. You could walk away. And I just said, I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere. That's never been a thought that I thought of. You know, you don't walk away because there's a problem or a hard time. That's what hopefully builds things stronger and brings things together more. Even though you're kind of going through these very difficult things of life and death and not knowing what the ultimate outcome is going to be. And we've certainly lived that over the last, 10 years or 9 years now that Anya has had several relapses of her cancer and other serious difficulties along the way, but you don't walk away from that. If you really love somebody, and if they're really your family, you don't walk away from family. Ever.
what kind of things from the Maggie make you stay?
Well, she's a very loving person, and she's very caring. She's got a beautiful heart. She really wants to do. You know, she wants people to feel good, and she wants them to be happy, and so she's very giving of herself. And so those were all things that attracted her to me, very much in the beginning. And she never agrees, but she does have a great sense of humor. Maybe it's a great sense of humor because she laughs at my jokes. But she can be very funny as well, even though she doesn't really always know so. And of course, and she used to say in the beginning, well, we have no history. Because I had previously been married and was married for 24 years. And so in the beginning, it was always like, well, I don't have a history with you. And of course, we don't have a history yet, but you build a history, right?
Yep.
And that's only going to happen with time. And so, a lot of our history has certainly been going through a difficult time with the health of our daughter. But that is a history. And we also have a lot of joyful things that have come out of this travel as well in this journey. So we do have a history. 10 years now, 11 years together. So she can be, you know, the most beautiful person in the world. Anya feels, you know, ever since we met, when Anya and I first met, I had heard a lot about Anya from her. Anya was in kindergarten, and just how she was very shy, very bashful, even amongst people that she had been around. So a lot of Meichi's friends at that time. And I didn't have a chance to actually witness that until after I had met her, when we went to a Chinese New Year's party. And Anya just kind of hung out in the corner, sitting at a table, and I sat with her just so she wasn't alone. But I kind of saw then that bashfulness and shyness. But when I first walked into their apartment, and Anya was on the floor playing, and I walked in, and Meichi introduced me to her, and she stood up and ran and hugged me. And it was like, okay, this is not what I was expecting when I first met her. But I will say that there felt like there was a pretty instantaneous bond between her and I, that I had always felt. And knowing Anya now, I know she felt that way too. So she's always felt like my natural daughter. And I'm sorry that her biological father is passed and can't be a part of her life, but I believe he's still playing a role in overseeing her and has helped carry her maybe through some hard times that we could not do here.
Yeah. Boo Boo has you, and Maggie is much love.
Yes.
And love put on her, so.
But she brings a lot of joy and love too. You know, as challenged as she has been due to treatments, you know, and she takes a lot of cares through the day, and there's times you open your eyes in the morning and it's like, oh no, it's just, here we go again. It's kind of this routine and care that she requires every day. But then you walk into her room and, you know, she waves and smiles or says good morning. And you see that despite all of her health issues, she is a happy person, right? That sometimes we impose what we think somebody maybe should be feeling or experiencing, going through the things that she does, but she's just, it's been amazing to watch her and see how she accepts. She wishes she could walk again, and that's something that she expresses. But she loves to tell jokes, and she loves to play her games, and she loves to do word games. And you just see that joy, that she accepts where she is and who she is.
Yeah.
And as she says, I thank God, the Lord, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit that I am still alive.
Hi, Anya. May I ask you some question? Okay. How many that you have?
How many daddy you have?
Do you have?
Make sure you include your godfather, right?
Yeah.
Here we go again. The godfather is 3, right? Only
My former dad.
Yeah, your former dad,
yeah.
and then me, and then Uncle Ming, godfather, and the Lord.
How many?
How many fathers do you have? There you go.
4.
3.
对对
Yeah. Oh. She speaks Chinese. 对, right?
对
Oh. And how many mother you have? 1.
How many cats do you have? Two.
And ducks?
Falcon passed away.
Falcon passed away.
Okay.
How many ducks do you have?
Rose and Sunny.
Rose
Rose
and
and
Stanley.
Stanley.
Stanley, wow. Who named them?
Who named them?
Me.
Oh, thank God.
Perfect. Right slice.
Good.
Cesar.
不客气。
Question Anya.
Boo boo. Anya, how you communicate with another when you wake up but you cannot speak, cannot move?
Videos. Sound good.
Sign language. Use sign language. What do you use?
Sound good.
Facial expressions. Her hands.
I
Sign language.
can.
A Berber again.
You silly girl.
What do you can do, Anya? When you're happy, what do you do? If you like this person, what do you do? What do you move? Your nose. How about others? That's others.
Oh,
What else you can do?
what? So what? Yeah, I can do that.
Live long and prosper.
Yeah, I get that. Okay. Do you think you are mom's girl or your daddy's girl?
Armand.
I'm that girl.
That is girl.
Oh.
This is
She's a real.
Should be that.
You did it tonight.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. So, what do you think are very important things in your life so far?
To be honest, that's okay.
It's good.
Okay.
Only someone
At least you're honest. Just say something funny. What's the most important thing in your life?
My right hand is tennis. My left hand is American. I farted. Dad,
Yes, honey.
I farted.
You farted.
Oh my goodness.
You big
Yes.
gassy stuff.
That's the only smell.
Another
gassy
thing that she'll
stuff.
say is, if you could hook me up to your truck, Dad, we wouldn't have to stop for gas.